guys, what's up? Bargainman Hobo here. Now I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and... What? Yeah, I know it's not Christmas yet, but I want to be on time for something at least. Jeez guys, give me a break here. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I missed my deadline again. This year's just been hectic to say the least. Alright, well, enough, but let's get right into it. This is our Men in Black Friday special, our second in fact, and the first one was Men in Black Alien Escape, which was... Well, let's see if this year's better. This year, we'll look at Men in Black Alien Crisis on the Xbox 360. So, is this a better Men in Black game than last time, or will we be begging for the neuralizer? Let's find out. It's time to hobo up! The story for Men in Black Alien Crisis follows Peter Delacroix. Peter is a thief and he steals an ancient Egyptian artifact, but is intercepted by Chauncey, his boss. Chauncey has great plans for this book, and later Peter is swept up with the Men in Black and now must stop Chauncey and save the world. It's your basic stop the evil plot, but it works, and also this is not based on any of the movies, this is its own original plot, so points for that. Gameplay for Alien Crisis is, well, you see, it's interesting because it's technically in 4 different parts, and we'll start at the top and work our way down. First and foremost, this is a cover-based on-rails third-person shooter, which is an interesting combination. Normally, when you think of cover-based shooters on the Xbox 360, you might think of things like Gears of War, and with good reason. Gears of War is also a cover-based shooter, but it's not on rails. You are free to move around the map and kill and destroy things as needed. And this is a fun series, both alone and with friends, so it's not unthinkable that someone might want to do a cover-based thing like it. But I digress. Back to Men in Black. So the shooting levels are simple. You have to go from point A to point B, shooting the aliens and rescuing the humans. You have a variety of weapons. You start with just a pistol, but gradually get more as you go, and all the weapons can be upgraded. Upgrade points are gained by either getting high combos or by killing tough enemies. And this is all controlled by a cursor. So you have this cursor that you control with the right stick, and it's used not only to aim at enemies, but also to pick up items, such as health refills and upgrade points, and it controls nicely. It's not so fast that it's flying all over the screen, but it's not so slow that it'll take forever to hit your enemies. So it controls nicely. These sections are pretty straightforward. Clear out the enemies, move to the next section, clear out the enemies, move to the next section, rinse and repeat. But it's interesting because the cover size varies. See, sometimes you'll have a lot of cover and you can go a long way in your cover spots, but sometimes you won't hit very much. The problem in that, though, comes with the grenades. You see, enemies will throw grenades at you. It's one thing if you have a large array of cover, you can just zip to another part of the cover, and explosion won't hurt you. But some of the areas are so small that you will take damage no matter what. Oh, and get this, you can still get damaged by the grenade when you run to the next spot of cover. Go! How was I supposed to avoid that? Oh, and you know how you saw me bubble that guy? That's not optional. So, you see that little meter down there in the bottom left? That's your awareness meter. If that fills all the way up, you lose. So if you see civilians, you're supposed to use your anti-grav bubble ray, so you can bubble them, and then so they won't be around, and then you can neuralize them after the level. The problem is that these bubbles float around, and they can block your shots. While they can block enemy shots too, it's still kind of annoying to have to try and shoot around them, or use a sort of weapon to push them away. You can bubble enemies too, so keep that in mind. Oh yeah, that reminds me, the attachments. These are like secondary weapons which have the thing where they can incapacitate enemies to make them easier to kill or just simply get them out of the way with the anti-grav bubble. You've got freeze ray, anti-grav grenade, and a few more. You gradually unlock these as you go through the game. One last thing, aiming. You can either pop out of cover or you can blind fire. Blind firing is safer but less accurate, whereas popping out of cover is more dangerous but you have more accuracy. So really it's a risk versus reward thing. Do you need more protection or more accuracy? And now for gameplay style number 2, the driving sections. So like before, you have to make it to the end, except this time you're in a car that's flying through the air, shooting down things that attack you. You've got your shots and your special attacks to help, but you've got the exposure here as well. But this time you can't bubble people. So what do? Well, there's these gates you need to fly through to lower the thing, but they can pop up at bad times when you're nowhere near them and have a split second to have to hit them, and that could screw you over if it happens at a bad time. Now, you've got a crosshair to aim at things, but this is where things... Okay, let's play a little game. How do you think you move in these levels? Do you think that you would move with the left stick and aim with the right? If you thought so, you are incorrect because you both move and aim with the right stick. which is kind of not so good because you kind of have to choose between dodging and aiming, so it's a bit annoying. But there aren't that many of these sections, and they are pretty fun to compensate, so I'll let that one slide. Annoying, but not a deal breaker. And now for the third facet of gameplay, the point and click sessions. These don't have any shooting or anything, you just have to walk around, talk to people, interact with things until you eventually figure out what you're supposed to do, and then move on. But these also have dialogue, which can even branch off, but the thing is, there's no like alternate things that happen as a result of your dialogue. There's only one correct path to the dialogue, and if you hit a dead end, you go back to the beginning, you just have to keep doing it until the game is satisfied with how you do it, and this pops up in other places, and while that's interesting, it's like, why would you have different pathways if they don't have different results? You're basically going to stonewall me until I do it how you want me to, so, I don't know what to say about that. And now, the worst part of the gameplay, the stealth levels. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, they're like the shooting levels, except you're not just going to shoot everything that moves, you're supposed to get through this area unseen. And it's not exactly complex. You shoot the cameras, bubble the guards, move on. But the thing is, this is where the game develops a severe case of OCD. So you're supposed to shoot the cameras and bubble the guards like I said, right? But you're supposed to shoot the cameras first because if the cameras see you bubble the guards, you lose. However, like I said, the game gets OCD here because you have to do it exactly, precisely, how the game wants you to do it. And if you mess up even a little, you get seen and you fail. Okay, so with the bubbling guards, if they become aware of you while you're bubbling them, they can break out of the bubble, run, and set off the alarm. And once they're running for the alarm, your controls are locked. You can't do anything. You just have to sit there and let them run and set the alarm, at which point you send back last checkpoint. It's almost like the game is taunting you, like, oh, you didn't do it right? Well, now you get to watch yourself fail, loser. It just, these sections are irritating, and they pop up a little more than I would like. If it were me, a few of these would have been left on the cutting room floor, or heck, just cut them all out. They're not that fun. But I guess they're not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the game, by far, but not the worst thing in the world. Like I said, there are checkpoints, and you can eventually get it with trial and error. The amount of trial and error you have to do is annoying, to say the least. So, to recap, the shooting sections, which are the most fun, but not without their faults. The driving sections, which are also pretty fun, but still have their faults. The point and click sections, which aren't really terrible, but they're not that fun either, they're just kind of there. And the stealth section, which can just go jump in the lake, because good lord, those are irritating. Overall, it's a very mixed bag gameplay, but leaning more towards the positive side. I mean, I had fun with it. Oh, one nice cool thing is that when you finish the game, you can go back and replay the levels with all the weapons and upgrades you've got, in case you want to go back and finish your upgrades or just want to play through the game again. I don't think I could blame you for that, honestly. The presentation in this game is actually pretty good. First off, the graphics. This game is not a powerhouse. You won't hear the Xbox 360 straining to pump out the graphics, but it looks nice. I mean, you can tell a building from the sidewalk, so that's nice. The world looks pretty good, and you can tell what's supposed to be what, so there's that at least. And the voice acting is pretty interesting. Like I said, they got a pretty noteworthy cast. Just to give you an idea here, Troy Baker and Laura Bailey play the leads, as well as a few others. They do sound good, they sound like they actually want to be there, and they do have conversations in the levels, but the conversations tend to get drowned out in all the gunfire and screaming. But what you do hear is well voiced. Music is alright. It's serviceable as background noise, but odds are you won't be listening to it after you play. Once you turn off the game, it probably won't be in your head for too long. So, I mean, it does its job, but it's nothing outstanding. Still better than it being bad, I guess. So that's Men in Black Alien Crisis on the Xbox 360. How is it? Let's look at it and see. How's the gameplay? It's pretty alright. I mean, the shooting sections are pretty fun, and the stealth sections are not so fun with their OCD-ness and all. The dialogue is kind of, I mean, pointless, let's be real. I mean, if you're not going to have us go down multiple branching pathways, then why let us have that? Why only have one way and make us click through all that? The driving missions were fun, sure, and the point-and-click stuff was okay, but overall, I didn't hate my time playing this. The controls are fine enough, it's reasonably challenging, and yeah, presentation is pretty cool, the graphics are nice, and the voice acting plays well. They got some pretty notable voice actors here too. So, overall, this is a heck of a lot better than Alien Escape. This time, Hobo approves. Well, that's going to do it for this year's Men in Black Friday special. And what time is left? Well, next time is going to be Happy Hobo Days. So come back in December when I look at not one, but 2 Christmas games. What are those going to be? Have to wait and see. Until then, this is the Bargain Hobo saying be brave, dare to play. I'll see you guys next time. Hobo out!
Cutting out a broad spear skull. Any emotion he had is lost.